Hi, today I'm a little bit north of Alcalde, New Mexico, and I'm looking at Los Luceros, which has a lot of legends about being haunted. So, gonna go check it out, see what we got going on in here, and then after that, kind of give you my report on what I think is going on. So, have a little bit of video footage, show you what it's like.
New Mexico is known as the land of enchantment. It is also a land of many spirits, both malevolent and benign. At the foot of Black Mesa near the town of Alcalde, there once was a large rancho, Los Luceros, part of the first Spanish land grant in the New World. At its center was this grand adobe hacienda. In the 1800s, this was the home of the powerful Spanish governor, Julian Lucero. It was also his courthouse, jail, and the giant imposing tree outside his window was his gallows. Today, though, the old hacienda is abandoned, at least by the living, and has become famed throughout the region as a repository for restless spirits. Michael and Suzanne Wallace once came face to face with the spirits here. That was more than 20 years ago, and now they have returned to see if they are still around.
The spirits of Los Luceros date back to the 1840s, when the hacienda was the center of a rich and thriving culture. At the time, the large Spanish rancho had been in the Lucero family for almost 200 years and was about to be inherited by Maria Marta, the governor's eldest daughter. It is only speculation, but a fight is said to have started in the upstairs bedroom. At first, there were harsh words.
Señor, I'm not interested in your theory.
Then sudden violence. The argument spilled into the hallway. There was pushing, angry shoving. Maria Marta fell or was pushed down the narrow wooden staircase. It was on the floor below, they say, where she died. It is here she has remained since the 1850s, forever walking the stairs.
Yes, there is a haunting down there.
There's definitely spirits in the house.
It's just not the voices that you hear with your ears, it's the voices that you hear inside your head when you walk through the door.
We had wonderful experiences here, and there were ghosts. I certainly encountered them.
And we did see the woman on the stairs. I did, several different times. Just a fleeting apparition. Seemed that she walked those stairs frequently.
I feel very strongly that it's a female entity. At least the ghost that is the strongest, or the spirit that is the strongest.
The energies that I've felt in here have been male energies, malevolent, criminal type energies.
I was coming down the stairway from the roof. A large and very heavy doorway from the roof came hurtling down right after me. Barely missed me.
It was amazing because this trap door went flying down the stairs, and it was up here, so it would have fallen and bounced down normally. But it didn't, it was thrown down.
From my understanding that this place was the territorial courthouse at one time. A lot of criminals with bad energies toward other people were in this house. I think that their negativity is what has predominated the feelings that I've gotten about this place.
I believe that when one passes on from this life in this body, this shell, and goes on its journey to the next, they are operating at a different speed or a different level. It's very much like having a 45 RPM record. We are the 45 RPM record, and they are operating at a speed of 78. And every once in a while, the grooves line up and the revolutions parallel each other. And that is when you have your encounters. That is when you recognize each other.
So the first problem is with the history that is told in the film. Archaeologist David Snow's findings, which are based on an analysis of artifacts from the Los Luceros site, indicate that historic occupation can only be traced to the early years of the 19th century. There simply isn't anything reliable before that. The first owner of the building was probably Luis Maria Ortiz, who was seventh generation directly descended from Nicolas Ortiz and Mariana Coronado, who were colonists with Diego de Vargas at the time of the 1693 reconquest of New Mexico. During the 1880s, Luis served in the territorial legislature and was the sheriff of Rio Arriba County. Luis and his wife, Eliza Clark, are buried beneath the floor of the chapel at Los Luceros. The next significant owner of the property was Mary Wheelwright. We were unable to find Maria Mato anywhere in the historical records, as well as any indication of her untimely demise. The next problem is the stairs, which, according to the ghost story, she was pushed down. Now, the original staircase was outside of the house, attached to the second-story balcony. The interior stairs were added by Mary Wheelwright in the 1920s. Therefore, you can't have a woman being pushed down those stairs in the 1840s because they did not exist at that time. Another myth-building element that has entered the ghost story of Los Luceros also has its origins in the TV show.
The energies that I've felt in here have been male energies, malevolent, criminal-type energies.
Despite this addition to the story, there are no accounts of anyone seeing an apparition of a male, judge, criminal, or otherwise. The basis appears to be entirely comprised from the TV show and developed as the story was passed from one person to the next. During the investigation, we did interview Marie. She was one of the people interviewed for the television show and is now a historian and docent for Los Luceros. We asked her about the ghost story presented in the television show and about the ghost of Maria Mato. Without hesitation, she told us it was completely fabricated. The producer of the show persuaded her to say that she had seen the apparition of the woman on the stairs. She also told us that the stories of people being hung from the tree outside of the hacienda was probably more folklore than fact. There are not any historical records that indicate anyone ever being hung there. While we cannot say that this location is not haunted, the claims of paranormal activity presented in the film and from the witnesses are simply low-grade and unreliable, if not outright fabricated in many instances.